be accountable to the school that they will be going to. The last two waivers have to do with the Catalpa school that will be at Maupin. Of course, this school was one of the schools that was selected in the competition that we had around the Districts of Innovation project. Basically, what we're asking for was in their proposal, and there are two there are two waivers that have to do with instruction. Both of them come from a study of, and let me get it here, come from a group that is that basically has looked at the Kentucky core content and the Waldorf curriculum that will be at that school. And the first waiver talks about a sequencing change. All the students will still be expected to have the core content that all the other elementary students have in this district. It will just be sequenced differently than at the other schools. And the second waiver has to do with kindergarten students, in which they are asking for like some relief around, quote, the like rigorous academic standards that we are asking our kindergarten students to do, and and basically that's the four waivers. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to try to answer.
Okay, I think there probably will be some questions. Dr. Hargens, do you want to add anything before we go on?
No, that's fine.
Okay, are there any questions? Yeah, Lisa.
Actually, am I on?
Yeah.
I just want to make a comment about the Catalpa school. I just think it's odd that we have to request a waiver for a developmentally appropriate curriculum. It says that the Maupin Elementary will have kindergarten programs aligned with the age-appropriate developmental needs of students. And it seems peculiar that we need a waiver for that. And then when you read a little further, what we're asking a waiver for is so that kindergarten children can have a rest period in the morning and then another rest period in the afternoon. And the reason they need a rest period is because the curriculum incorporates a lot of movement. So it's a wonderful approach, and I'm hoping that we'll be requesting waivers for more of our kindergarten programs in the future to have these kinds of
And I'd like to add like Mrs. Willner, that if this works, one of the things about the Districts of Innovation is that we've made a pact with each other that if it works, then we are going to try to bring what we have learned to the state level so that other districts will have the opportunity to do what we are trying to do.
I'm very, very excited about it. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Hadaway, did you have a question?
I did, thank you. I'm just curious, am I on? Curious about the timeline, the process from request to approval.
Well, what the timeline is that the first request, the one around high school graduation, people at the Kentucky Department of Education that have been involved with us with the Districts of Innovation, they wanted an approval from the 7 boards of education around the graduation request, so that could go to the State Board of Education for approval in March. The other 3 requests, I think, will be reviewed by staff, and then then if staff approves it, it will then go to the Board of Education at a subsequent meeting, and I hope it would be in April.
What's SAP?
What's that?
SAP?
Staff.
I'm sorry.
Approved by who?
Oh, by the Kentucky Board of Education.
Okay.
Staff.
It would have to be, yeah, it would have to be, it's my understanding that
I thought it was an acronym,
okay.
A new acronym. So,
okay.
Okay.
I have one.
Okay. Chris?
My question is regarding item number 2. I appreciate the thinking of trying to have a more adequate reflection of what's going on in the school as far as achievement goes, especially when you're considering the significant challenges of English language learners. But my question is concerning when these results go to the district rather than being reported back to the school. Is there any type of, I'm not sure how to phrase this, but any type of a situation where the district could be found as a priority district, you know, because if there's going to apply to a school, the school can be found as a focus school or priority school. Is there a way that that type of accountability comes down to the district level if it's going to be applied to the district?
Okay. Well, first of all, the scores right now are in the district scores. Okay, if every school, you know, the scores really come up to the district. So what we're saying is the scores will still be at the district level. It just won't be at a school that the student really might not have attended yet. Okay, right. So that's what we're asking for. And in answer to your question is, yes, there are provisions for the state to basically deal with low-performing school districts. Yes.
Okay. And I'm aware of that issue of tracking back students, especially because I've talked to some of the principals in my own district where a student will go there for maybe a week or two and then will be gone for the the remainder of the school year. It can be a matter of months. Right. But yet, because they attended that school for that 1 or 2 week period, those scores are tracked back to that particular high school or middle school. But I appreciate the thinking out of the box. Well, not really necessarily out of the box per se. I'm sure this has been something that you've been thinking about for a long time, but I appreciate the effort in being able to have a more adequate reflection of what's going on in our schools.
Yep. We have worked with staff at KDE on the second request also, on the English language learner request. And so we're very hopeful that we will get approval of staff that then it will be taken to the state board.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
I'd like to just add onto that same second request, coming at the notion of putting the limited English proficiency scores at the district rather than in the schools. I would urge that we look at that as an opportunity in a different way. I had conversation with a group called Greater Louisville International Professionals a couple of months ago. This is several thousand folks from all over the world who are working here in Louisville, and one of their pushes was, can we lay claim and can we prove that Louisville is the best place in America for a student who comes to the United States without speaking English to get their K-12 education? And I guess I would ask that you guys take a look. I'm not sure that any district claims that at the moment, which certainly means we could be either the best or the worst, whichever we chose. I would urge us to choose to be the best, but tracking that, as long as we're going to keep it centrally, I mean, let's see what we can do with it. We've got great programming already at Newcomer, and building on it would be wonderful. Sorry,
I do agree with you, Mr. Jones, that that this is an opportunity for us, and that our EL, our like limited English proficient staff is very excited about the opportunity to name and claim and do something different so that we can become the best district in regard to
other
these
questions
students.
or comments? Yes.
Well,
Linda.
it's related to that. We talk about wanting to be the best urban district, and I just would want to add this into that measure of what we are coming up with as measures for saying, okay, we now are the best urban district.
Okay.
This might be one of those measures of that.
Okay, I will follow up on that, Mrs. Duncan.
Yeah, I want to pile on. That question came up in our orientation, new member orientation, and I think it was a very insightful question from Ms. Duncan. I mean, what's the target? Who's the best? I don't know exactly where it fits in the program, but we ought to nail that down and go for it. Other questions or comments about these waiver requests? I have one more then. You mentioned, Dr. Rodofsky, that with respect to waiver number 1, about if a student has already demonstrated mastery or proficiency or whatever the standard is, they don't have to take additional courses. And I think you said that was something that all the districts of innovation were asking for. Could you explain just, I mean, in a short few words, I mean, what's the goal? Is it to free up time to do other creative stuff, or why do we want to take them out of the classes?
Okay, I think that part of it is, you know, we're still, as an educational organization across the state, we are wedded to this thing called Carnegie units. And I think that if you would talk to like researchers, that a lot of them would say that Carnegie units are one of the things that get in the way of student interest, okay? And so the idea is that if I am qualified for, if I've qualified on the main goal, which is college readiness, and if I've demonstrated that I have skill, then why can't I, as a young adult, pursue something that I'm interested in prior to me getting out of high school? And maybe I can get another college credit. Maybe I can get some kind of, some kind of opportunity that that a Carnegie unit might get in the way of. Okay, and I think that that's what the thinking's about. You know, just flexibility for a student to pursue their interest.
Great, thank you. Are there any other questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the 4. Okay, Mr. Brady moves, Ms. Horn seconds. All in favor? Aye. It passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Dr. Hargens, would you like to introduce the second action item?
Yes, you might recall from this budget, the